The back can move through a large range of motion. As it moves, changes occur in the position of the joints and muscles of the back, and these changes affect the ability of the structures of the back to protect themselves. Learning and practicing positions which allow the structures of the back to best support themselves is important in maintaining a healthy back and reducing chances of back injury. This program will look at the bony structures of the back and how changes in position affect balance of the back. A principle of muscle strength will be described, and you will learn what positions allow the muscles to best support the back. You will see how the abdominal muscles help control the position of the back and what role the back muscles play during lifting. Correct lifting positions will be shown. You will also learn how practice of good back position during controlled situations carries over to less controlled situations. The bony structure of the back, the spine, includes the sacrum and a series of vertebrae stacked from the lower back to the base of the skull. Vertebrae connect to one another at 3 places. In the front, the vertebrae connect to an intervertebral disc. In the back, they connect at 2 facet joints, one on each side. The connections between each vertebra function like the 3 legs of a tripod, where the feet represent the points connecting the vertebrae. When upright, a tripod is very stable and stresses on the feet of the tripod evenly distributed. But if the tripod tilts so that 1 or 2 feet lose contact, it becomes very unstable, and all the load is on one point. The same is true for the connections between each vertebra. When the spine is in an upright position, the connections are stable, and stresses at the connections between each vertebra are well distributed. Stability is reduced, and stress is altered when leaning forward. Stability is also reduced and stress is altered when leaning backward. When the spine is off balance, extra muscle effort is needed. You can reduce muscle fatigue by working whenever possible with the back in an upright, balanced position. But it's not always possible to work from an upright position. If forward bending is required, limit the amount of time spent in this position and frequently stand all the way up. You can even arch back to relieve stresses created by being in a forward bent position. To avoid difficulty when straightening up, before you stand up, support your upper body weight with your arms. This lifts weight off of your back, making it easier to stand. This is also a good technique to use to rest your back after standing for prolonged periods of time. The best thing you can do is limit the amount of time spent in unbalanced positions. Muscles are an important stabilizer of the back, so let's take a close look at a muscle to learn an important principle about muscle strength. The internal structure of muscle is very intricate. Within the muscle are a series of contractile fibers which overlap each other. When the muscle contracts, the fibers slide over one another. A muscle is strongest when the fibers are overlapped about halfway, which occurs when the muscle is in a mid-range position. Let's look at the biceps muscle as an example, since it is easy to see. The biceps muscle attaches near the elbow and up at the shoulder. When the elbow is bent, the biceps muscle appears shorter and thicker. In this position, the muscle fibers are fully overlapped, so the muscle is weak. When the elbow is straight, the muscle appears longer and slimmer. Now, the muscle fibers barely overlap, and again, the muscle is weak. The biceps muscle is strongest at its mid-range position, when the muscle fibers are overlapped about halfway. Now let's relate this principle to the back. Some of the muscles that support the back are here. These muscles are in a shortened position when the back is arched. Remember, muscles are weaker when in a shortened position. When the back bends forward, its muscles are in a lengthened position. From here, the muscles are also in a weaker position and don't provide the support your back needs. Remember, when in this position, the vertebrae are out of balance, making them less stable. This position should be avoided, especially when lifting. The back muscles are strongest in their mid-range position, when the back is relatively straight. From this position, the back muscles are best able to support the back. When lifting, the back muscles are responsible for stabilizing the lower back, and this can be best done if the back is straight. Here, the thighs and buttocks do the actual lift, while the back muscles keep your back straight. Notice also that the load is held close to the body, reducing stress to the back. Sometimes it is not possible to bend the knees when lifting. For example, if you are lifting out of a bin or the trunk of a car. In this case, you can protect your back by bending from the hips, keeping the back straight. The buttocks muscles will bring you upright, while the back muscles stabilize the back. When in this position, the load is further from the body, so you will not be able to safely lift as much weight. If the load is too heavy, get help. Do not allow the back to round out when lifting. This will force the back muscles to try to do the lift, even though they are in a stretched, weakened position. To be protected, the back must be held straight. The abdominal muscles are another support system for the back. They are made up of the rectus abdominis and the obliques. The rectus abdominis help keep the back straight during activity. They are especially important during overhead lifting to assure the back does not arch too far. The obliques help protect the back from twisting. When lifting, contracting the abdominal muscles adds support to the back. Keeping your abdominal muscles in good shape gives additional protection for your back. There are numerous receptors in the joints and muscles which constantly monitor the position of the back. These receptors have the ability to trigger small changes in joint position and muscle tension. Practice of good back positions actually helps train these